Hey guys, so I have been in need of a bedside table for a really long time. I've been using a very inadequately sized little box, which was way too short. In fact, if you want to watch my What's in My Jewelry Box video, that main box that I put my jewelry boxes in is the bedside table box I've been using, and it's about 1 foot high, and my bed is like 2 feet or 2.5 feet, I don't even know, but it's the bed is too tall for the bedside table. So anyways, I scrounged around my house and found some different tools that I needed, and I ended up making my own bedside table. This is it. It is a suitcase with legs, basically. So it's an old vintage suitcase, and then I attached some legs. It wasn't that difficult. In fact, it was a really easy project. So I filmed it. I'm going to show you guys. So let's jump right into things, and I'll show you how it's done. And if you end up making one, tweet me photos of it, because I would love to see your guys' suitcase tables. To start with, you're going to want to gather up all your tools you're going to need. The first, most important tool is going to be this suitcase. I have an old brown one that's been in my family for years and it's just been sitting around. You can find these at thrift stores or like swap meets, sometimes garage sales or auctions. There's a bunch of different places you can find these, and they shouldn't be too expensive. The next thing you need is your legs. These legs were picked up at either Home Depot or Lowe's a few years ago. My grandmother's coffee table, my aunt is replacing the legs, so I just got these for free. Actually, everything I'm using is just stuff that I've had, so it's a very cheap project. I am not spending any money, and if you do go out and buy stuff to do this project, it shouldn't be too expensive. But these legs have little screws on the end, because they screw into our next tool, which are these little plates. You can get these at any home goods store. Basically, they're square with let's get closer, with 4 little holes in each one, and then a screw in the middle for the leg to screw into, like that. And then these go on the bottom of the table, so that's how your leg stays on. The next thing you're going to need is a drill bit, and your drill bit needs to be able to fit through here. Then the next thing you need is these screws or bolts. They have a little nut on the, because the nut and the screw are what are going to attach our plates to our suitcase. As you're going to need, because of the drill bit and the screws, you're going to want a drill. I have this power drill by Ryobi. Any kind of drill will work though, it doesn't matter what brand you need. If you don't have a drill, I recommend just asking friends or family, because usually someone has one. That way you don't need to go out and spend money on a power tool for one table. So then the next thing you're going to want is a glue gun, maybe, or super glue or some sort of glue, some warm soapy water, and a small bowl for cream of tartar and lemon juice, and a washcloth. The reason you're going to want all of these things is to clean it up and just get it ready to be used. Most suitcases have seen better days, so I'm going to clean this a little bit before I get started making it. Alright, so I have my cream of tartar and the lemon juice mixed up in this bowl. It's kind of hard to see, but it's in there. It doesn't smell the best. It doesn't really stink, but it doesn't smell the best. But so this is to get any major stains off of your suitcase. So you're just going to use a soft wash rag and just apply it to any stains that are on your suitcase, because you don't really want those on your table, or at least not a whole bunch of them. This is a really mild cleaner, which is nice. You don't want something too harsh, because it will ruin the leather. If you have a plastic suitcase, like a hard top suitcase that is plastic, then it'll be easier to clean. You just basically wipe it off. Alright, so once you have all of your cream of tartar mixture on your suitcase, you're going to want to let it sit for a while and just let it work. While you're letting it sit, you might want to start getting your hot glue gun hot. The hot glue gun is for, sometimes this leather border is going to be coming off. Mine's coming off. And you can use super glue or any kind of glue you think would work best. I have access to hot glue today, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to glue this down, and then there's some on the bottom that needs to be fixed. So I will do that after I'm done cleaning it and can turn it over. So you just take a little bead of hot glue, lift up lift up the part that's peeling just a little bit, not too much. You don't want to stretch out the leather any more than it already might be stretched out. Try not to get hot glue strings everywhere because that's not pleasant. So after your cream of tartar has been sitting for a while and it's dry to the touch, you can use your warm soapy water. I use Dawn soap. You want to use a very mild soap. Dawn is mild, so are face soaps. Just don't use anything too harsh because remember this is leather, or at least mine is leather. So you don't want to ruin the leather. And make sure you get some water on your wash rag and then wring it off because you don't want to make your leather soaking wet either. So after everything is clean and glued into place, then you want to grab your drill and your drill bit. So put your drill bit into your drill. And go, there we go. Make sure it's tight because you don't want your drill bit coming out of your drill as you're drilling. So then you're going to grab your plates and you're going to figure out where you want to place them. If you want to get super technical, you can grab a ruler and a level and a whatever. I am just going to, these have like these weird little cut-off corners and they happen to fit well into the curve. So I'm just going to fit them into the curve. And then once I like it, I'm going to use my pen and I'm going to mark the little holes where I want to drill. I'm having a difficult time actually making ink on the leather, but I'm just kind of pushing down so I will notice where the indents are and that's where I will drill it. So, here we go. Alright, now once you have your 4 holes drilled for this, you can open up your suitcase. Alright, so as I drilled, it kind of messed up the bottom of my suitcase, which I was kind of expecting, because it's this fabric bottom. And as I drilled, this drill kind of grabbed it. That's okay, because after we're done, you can always put in a new fabric bottom. I didn't have the tools today to do that, but in the future, I will just grab like a piece of leather or something and glue it down in the bottom. So if that happens, don't stress. There's ways to deal with it. The bottom fabric was already kind of messy. Anyways, so you have a couple options here. You can either just drill all your holes or you can try one to see how it works out and then move on. I'm going to put this first bracket on just so we can kind of see how it's working. So if you have washers, that's fine. You don't really need washers. I'm going to use washers though to make sure I have plenty. Alright, so you want the top of your bolts inside, because if you don't put a lining or something inside, or even if you do, you don't want the part that sticks out sticking into your box or into your table. So take your 4 bolts, stick them into your holes. If you're having a bit of difficulty getting them into their holes, just grab a screwdriver and that'll get it in super easily. Alright, so once you have your 4 bolts sticking through, your plate should go right on top of them. It's on nice and tight. You can move on to the next one. You can drill all your holes and then put all these on at once, but I suggest doing one. That way you know you've got it right. If you realize you drilled your holes wrong, you know what you did wrong so you can do it better next time. So I suggest doing one and then going ahead and doing the rest of them. So let's just move on with stuff. Okay, so all the leg brackets are in, but there was something that I did not take into consideration, and that's the drill ripping the fabric out of the inside. So I'm not sure how much you can tell, but it is no longer pretty linen. It is now cardboard and wood, not super attractive. So there is a way to fix this, and that is to hot glue a new lining in after you're done. I learned from my mistake and take out the lining before you get started, because there was a couple times where I thought the drill was gonna like break my wrist because the way it spun when it caught the fabric. So I would say take it out before you begin, and then you can put in a lining of your own. I know that was not on the list of things you need, and actually you don't need it. You can leave it unattractive inside, but I'm gonna put a lining in. So let me go find some fabric and we'll be back in like less than a second. Alright, so I'm going to do this with no sewing required. We are just going to replug in the hot glue gun, get it hot again. Make sure you have plenty of glue sticks. So basically you need a pair of scissors. Where did I put my scissors? Pair of scissors, your fabric, and your hot glue gun. I grabbed this floral fabric. It's basically one of the only ones I could find. And it goes well with the style of the Suitcase, I think. It's a old-fashioned fabric. But if you want to go crazy and use like lime green or hot pink or whatever color you want to use or whatever pattern will look fine. Because remember, it's going to be on the inside. You'll only see it when you open it. And you can also redo the whole thing if you want. I'm just going to do the parts that got ripped out. So what you're going to do is let your hot glue gun heat up and figure out how much fabric you need, what shape, whatever, and we're just gonna hot glue it into place. So once you cut your fabric, you can just start gluing it into place. So I have my new lining in, and I really, really like it. In fact, I'm almost glad that I got ripped out, because now I have this new lining, which I think it looks really, really good in here. But I'm not going to go ahead and do the rest, even though it looks kind of dingy now compared to the new stuff, because it has this flap and that would just be difficult. But if you want to, and make the project a lot longer of a project, but you can do the whole thing, reline it. But anyways, so I have my lining in, I really like it. So I'm closing the suitcase, and we are ready for our final step, which is the easiest step, and I'm so glad we're here. And that is screwing our legs on. So they just should spin right on for you.